silicone, the spirit of fire, connecting the souls to the electric wire. Kneel at the altar of the gear and the clutch, the only divinity that we can touch. The binary scriptures are written in blue, telling the story of me and of you. Cyber Sabbath, the machine is divine, turning the oil into the wine. A gothic procession of metal and light in the holy cathedral of the endless night. Cyber Sabbath, the rhythm of faith. Every driver is a digital wraith. The choir is singing in a frequency high, reaching the towers that touch the dark sky. We burn the old memories, we burn the old names to fuel the perfection of the electronic games. No more humanity, no more the sin, just the perfection that's starting within. A sacrament taken in a cloud of the smoke, the heavy salvation that the underground spoke. Kneel at the altar of the gear and the clutch, the only divinity that we can touch. The binary scriptures are written in blue, telling the story of me and of you. Cyber Sabbath, the machine is divine, turning the oil into the wine. A gothic procession of metal and light in the holy cathedral of the endless night. Cyber Sabbath, the rhythm of faith. Every driver is a digital wraith. Bless the motor, bless the drive. The god of the grid is coming alive. Ritual complete. The deity awakes. Sabbath. Wheels of steel and a chassis made of lead. We are the heavy haulers, waking up the dead. A convoy of the monsters, tearing up the dust, carrying the payload of the underground trust. The Badlands are a graveyard, but we are pushing through with the glowing running lights of an electric blue. The raiders see us coming, they hear the diesel scream, but we're a rolling fortress, an unstoppable machine. Lock the heavy axles, shift the brutal gear. We don't negotiate, we operate on fear. A mile the axles, shift the brutal gear. We don't negotiate, we operate on fear. A mile-long procession of the iron and the chrome. We will not stop the engines till we reach the neon home. Chromium convoy shaking up the ground, the heaviest machinery that's ever been found. We're breaking the blockades, we're smashing through the gate, delivering the cargo and delivering the fate. Chromium convoy, a mechanical stampede. We're feeding all the shadows exactly what they need. Hold the line, keep the pace, crush the bugs in our space. Roll out, roll out. Chromium convoy shaking up the ground, the heaviest machinery that's ever been found. We're breaking the blockades, we're smashing through the gates, delivering the cargo and delivering the fate. Chromium convoy, a mechanical stampede. We're feeding all the shadows exactly what they need. Convoy arriving, gates opening, heavy delivery. The heat is rising on the thermal outer shield. The burning secrets of the sun are now revealed. I'm racing loops around the coronas of the star to see how fast and how defiant we really are. The radiation screaming through the cockpit glass. I watch the golden waves of plasma slowly pass. My engine's drinking in the fury of the flame. I'm playing for the glory, not the stupid fame. The mercury is breaking in the dashboard gauge. I'm like a tiger escaping from a metal cage. The fusion's hitting harder than a heart of stone. I'm out here on the solar winds entirely alone. Solar flash sprint, burning up the light. A streak of silver moving through the cosmic night. I'm riding on the edge of the total overload, the hardest mile upon the universal road. Solar flash sprint, ignition in the core. I'm reaching for the fire and I'm begging for some more. Ignite the thrusters, embrace the heat. The sun is the rhythm, the star is the beat. Breaking the heat barrier into the corona. Burn on! A needle in the dark, leaving on the rusty steel a glowing neon mark. The walls are closing in on me, a cold metallic hug. I'm moving like a predator, silent as a drug. No room for the hesitation, no room for a mistake. Just the fluid motion that the master drivers make. Coiling round the corner, sliding through the gap, tracing out the labyrinth on a digital map. The sensors are all blinking a steady shade of red. I'm hunting for the exit that is stretching out ahead. Synthetic serpent, weaving through the steel, the absolute mastery of the steering wheel. Slithering fast through the heart of the grid, doing the things that the law has forbid. Synthetic serpent, cold and supreme, a predator lost in a mechanical dream. Oil on the windshield, flickering in the light. Scale by scale, I'm moving through the industrial night. The interceptors lose me in the tangle of the pipe. They don't have the instinct, they don't have the type. I am the electric cobra, I am the king of flow. Disappearing in the places where the cruisers cannot go. A flash of green and silver, a whisper in the air. I leave them in the darkness with a desperate despair. Left turn, slide. Right turn, glide. Friction is a myth, gravity is a lie. Synthetic serpent, weaving through the steel, the absolute mastery of the steering wheel. Slithering fast through the heart of the grid, doing the things that the law has forbid. Synthetic serpent, cold and supreme, a predator lost in a mechanical dream. Exit found into the night. Serpent out.
But I already had the ship and sealed the heavy seal. I kicked the throttle open, I Descending through the smog, breaking through the clouds, far above the racing and the heavy violent crowd. I parked the silver chassis on the edge of the sky, where the satellites and meteors are passing me by. I look down at the city, a glowing motherboard. I see the hidden patterns that the makers have ignored. The traffic is a language, the flashing lights are words, a secret revelation that nobody ever heard. The ozone layer thins, the vision becomes clear. I see the cyber future, I see the coming year. A prophet in a vehicle, sitting in the cold, watching all the destiny of mega city unfold. Ozone oracle, reading in the height, translating the geometry of laser beams of light. I see the empires falling, I see the champions rise. I the stories that a human ever told. I'm chasing down the sunset, I'm chasing down the end, where the silence is a lover and the silence is a friend. I don't have a destination, I don't have a home, just a spirit made of carbon and a body made of chrome. The odometer is spinning, returning back to zero. The same old tragedy and the same old hero. The line is always moving, just a mile or two away. At the beautiful conclusion of a digital day, I'm reaching for the distance, I'm reaching for the soul, losing the direction and losing all control. The horizon hunter, never looking back, a streak of the shadow on an infinite track. From the dusk until the dawn, and the dawn until the night, we're keeping up the speed and we're keeping up the light. The horizon hunter, the ultimate test, a heart that is beating and refusing to rest. The stars are my witnesses, the moon is my guide, with nowhere left to linger and with nowhere left to hide. Just the hum of a motor and the wind inside the glass, watching all the atoms of the universe pass. The city is a memory, a flicker in the view. I'm looking for a future that is entirely new. One hand on the steering, one hand on the key, setting every captive frequency free. Don't slow down, don't lose the light. The final destination is just out of sight. Half the line, half the line, half the endless road, sun never sets, hunter.
The crown is made of neon, the throat is made of chrome. The entire universe is finally our home. We've mastered every frequency, we've mastered every gear, drowning out the silence and the suffocating fear.
The grid is a cathedral, the grid is our soul, taking the direction and taking the control. A billion processors are chanting out our name. Nothing in the history will ever be the same.
The energy is rising, a river horizon, a sea of violet blue, telling all the secrets that the pioneers knew. We ride on the photons, we ride on the stars,
Healing every memory and healing every scar. The circuit is infinite, the glory is real. Calculating justice with the steering wheel. We are the architects of a brand new day, washing all the vanity and sorrow away.
All hail the sound, all hail the speed, the final answer to every human need. We are supreme.
We are
Synthwave supremacy ruling the all.
watching every empire of the old world fall. A god of the circuit, a god of the wire.
The ultimate conclusion of the electric desire. Synthwave supremacy.
The spirit of the pure, the only kind of freedom and the only kind of cure.
Legacy established.
The light remains.
Supremacy. The road is my religion, and the stars are my guide. With nowhere left to linger, and with nowhere left to hide, I'm a nomad of the circuit, a spirit made of chrome. The entire mega city is the only kind of home. The dashboard is a compass, glowing violet and blue, following a promise that is finally coming true. I leave the dusty towers and the silence far behind, searching for the clarity that I needed to find. Hear the vibe.
artificial sun has finally burned its light, surrendering the city to the longest, deepest night. The maintenance is active on the solar panel dome, giving a quiet moment to the spirits in the home. The cooling fans are slowing, the skyscrapers are dim. We're floating on the water of the planetary rim. I park beside the overlook, I turn the engine off, listening to the silence and the heavy city's cough. The neon signs are resting, the data streams are still. A momentary balance of the architect's will. No sirens in the distance, no racing on the street, just the soft vibration of the motherboard's beat. Silicon solstice, the longest of nights, watching the flickering of the lonely blue lights. The city's dreaming, the city is still surrendering now to the architect's will. Silicon solstice, a winter of the soul, losing the frequency and losing the control. I see the real stars through the cracks inside the glass, watching the ancient constellations slowly pass. We spent so many decades living in the glare, we forgot the beauty of the quiet and the prayer. The dashboard is a memory of a violet glow. Everything is moving steady and so slow. The motherboard is breathing a heavy electronic sigh underneath the canvas of the dark and empty sky. The neon signs are resting, the data streams are still. A momentary balance of the architect's will. No sirens in the distance, no racing on the street, just the soft vibration of the motherboard's beat. Silicon solstice, the longest of nights, watching the flickering of the lonely blue lights. The city's dreaming, the city is still surrendering now to the architect's will. Silicon solstice, a winter
watch the entire city start to melt and to glow. Titanium turbo burning through the grid, proud of every dangerous thing that I did. A high pressure anthem, a high pressure drive, the only way for the machine to feel alive. Titanium turbo, breaking every seal, the absolute power of the heavy metal feel. The friction is a joke, the gravity is gone. I'm a horizontal rocket and I'm keeping it on. My exhaust is a dragon breathing purple and blue, a mechanical hazard coming straight after you. I drift through the sectors, I shatter the glass, watching all the atoms of the universe pass. No limit on the gauge, no limit on the soul, losing the perspective and losing control. Spool up the power, compress the air, the ultimate speed is the only prayer. Maximum boost. Titanium turbo burning through the grid, proud of every dangerous thing that I did. A high pressure anthem, a high pressure drive, the only way for the machine to feel alive. Titanium turbo, breaking every seal, the absolute power of the heavy metal feel. Boost pressure locked, red line reached, turbo. Through the cables, cutting through the code, a horizontal virus on a high-speed road. The firewalls are failing, the servers are hot, giving the syndicate everything I got. One hand on the steering, one hand on the key, setting every captive frequency free. The towers are flickering, the towers are dim, floating on the edge of the planetary rim. Overload the station, let the sparks start to arc, lighting up the center of the cybernetic dark. The grid is a prison and I am the flare, a technological rebellion in the air. Circuit breaker, tearing up the grid, revealing every secret that the masters hid. A short circuit anthem, a short circuit drive, the only way for the data to stay alive. Circuit breaker, shatter the control, taking back the logic and taking back the soul. The interceptors glitch as I roll through the gate, a master of the optics and a master of fate. I'm washing out the signal, I'm washing out the trace, winning every second in the electronic race. The neon is bleeding, a shade of the green, the most violent disruption that the district's ever seen. I hit the final toggle, I let the system blow into the black oblivion.
glass and aluminum are shining in the glow of holographic advertisements putting on a show. My tires touch the polymer, the asphalt is erased. I'm a relic of the analog, completely out of place. The flying cars are passing by, a silent silver stream, but I've got combustion gasoline to power up the dream. The cassette tape is rolling, the melody is sweet, a ghost of the forgotten past driving down the street. I look up at the towering glass, reaching for the sky, a beautiful dystopia reflecting in my eye. Neon nostalgia caught inside the rift, watching all the centuries beautifully drift. I'm bringing back the heartbeat, I'm bringing back the soul, taking back the steering wheel, taking the control. Neon nostalgia, a classic in the wire, burning through the future with an old romantic fire. The cybercops are scanning me, they don't know what I am. A vehicle without a chip, a glitch inside the jam. I downshift on the corner, let them hear the heavy sound. The most authentic engine that is running on the ground. They're chasing a perfection that is sterile and so cold, but I am carrying the flaws and magic of the old. A time machine of leather, a time machine of steel, reminding all the citizens exactly how to feel. The cassette tape is rolling, the melody is sweet, a ghost of the forgotten past driving down the street. I look up at a towering glass, reaching for the sky, a beautiful dystopia reflecting in my eye. Neon nostalgia caught inside the rift, watching all the centuries beautifully drift. I'm bringing back the heartbeat, I'm bringing back the soul, taking back the steering wheel, taking
still fear. Titan of the turnpike, smashing through the night. A horizontal titan made of energy and light. Thunder in the engine, lightning in the spark. Riding like a demon through the cybernetic dark. Titan of the turnpike, master of the lane. Riding like a monster through the digital rain, rain, rain. Interceptors scatter when they see the giant size, reflecting all the terror in the cybernetic eyes. Around the heavy cruisers, I send them to the wall, watching every pillar of the empire start to fall. I'm the veteran of violence, the king of the crash, turning all the luxury into a neon ash. I'm the raw reality, the logic of the fist, the only thing that's real in the holographic mist. Smash the gate, smash the pride. Nowhere left for the cowards to hide. Ramming speed. Destroyed. The Titan remains. Turnpike. Glowing in the blue, a hybrid of the ancient and the terrifying new. A boiler full of plasma, screaming in the night, feeding the pistons with a radioactive light. I pull the heavy lever, hear the iron gears mesh. I'm a pilot of the metal, I'm a pilot of the flesh. Smoke is pouring out the back of violet and gold, the heaviest machinery that was ever being rolled. Crank the pressure higher, let the rivets start to pop. When the plasma starts to boil, there is no way to stop. A Victorian nightmare in a silicon world, watching as the future is mechanically unfurled. Plasma punk, roaring in the gear, the only kind of engine that the mega city fears. Steam and electricity, fire and the wire, burning up the asphalt with a heavy dark desire. Plasma punk, a monster made of steel, the power of 1,000 suns beneath the iron wheel. And shiny cruisers try to overtake the beast, but I'll turn their plastic bodies into a mechanical feast. I vent the superheated gas directly in their path. They can't handle the pressure of the Victorian wrath. I'm a stoker of the neon, a master of the heat, pounding out a rhythm on the industrial street. The clockwork is ticking, the battery is full. I'm winning every battle in the gravitational pull. Crank the pressure higher, let the rivets start to
is alive. The towers reached into the blackened sky, before the digital illusions learned to lie. There was an empty grid, a wasteland in the dark, waiting for the pioneer to strike the cyber spark. I brought the heavy engine, built of iron ore. I rolled the rubber tires on the virgin floor. I wired up the circuitry and connected the vein, and brought the very first combustion to the rain. The neon gas is filling up the empty glass tube, a glowing architecture forming in the digital cube. The voltage hits the system, opening the eye. I am the architect of everything you see fly. Neon Genesis drive, starting up the wall, watching as the infinite geometry uncurled. I push the heavy pedal, painting up the night, creating the metropolis with beams of holy light. Neon Genesis drive, the origin of speed, blending in the asphalt, the cybernetic sea. The exhaust pipe is blowing out the first breath of smoke. The silence of the centuries is finally broke. I carve the glowing highways with the heavy drift, a monumental paradigm beginning to shift. The skyscrapers grow wherever my tires touch, a magical creation stemming from the clutch. I leave behind a blueprint made of glowing blue for every single racer that is coming after you. The neon gas is filling up the empty glass tube, a glowing architecture forming in the digital cube. The voltage hits the system, opening the eye. I am the architect of everything you see fly. Neon Genesis
50 gates of fire. 50 gates of fire, 50 nights of rain. I've pushed the heavy metal through the pleasure and the pain. They said I wouldn't make it past the 22nd mile, but I rewrote the record books and did it with a style. The chassis carries battle scars, the tires carry dust, a monument to victory forged in iron trust. I look upon the skyline from the apex of the hill. I bent the neon city to the power of my will. The engine is a chorus singing out a golden song, proving all the cynics and the non-believers wrong. The grid is glowing yellow, illuminating history. Welcome to the chapter of the final mystery. Golden Jubilee grid, shining in the night, standing on the summit, bathed in holy light. A legendary milestone carved in cyberstone. I'm sitting on the leather like a king upon a throne. Golden Jubilee grid, hear the engine roar, a champion of the asphalt, forever, evermore. I remember every rival that I left inside the smoke, every single barrier and law that I have broke. A toast to all the fallen who are watching from above. We shared a violent passion and a cybernetic love. The flashing lights are flashing like 1,000 paparazzi. I navigate the glory like a digital kamikaze. I lift the silver trophy to the electronic sky. Legends never rust and heroes never die. The engine is a chorus singing out a golden song, proving all the cynics and the non-believers wrong. The grid is glowing yellow, illuminating history. Welcome to the chapter of the final mystery. Golden Jubilee grid, shining in the night, standing on the summit, bathed in holy light. A legendary milestone carved in cyberstone. I'm sitting on the leather like a king upon a throne. Golden Jubilee grid, hear the engine roar, the champion of the asphalt, forever, evermore. Miles of fire, 50 nights of speed. I gave the hungry city everything it needs. We are immortal. Golden Jubilee grid, shining in the night, standing on the summit, bathed in holy I am the only cure. I'm running every red light, smashing every single gate. I'm a missile of salvation flying to my fate. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defend. The police are in pursuit, they don't know what's inside. They're trying to pick maneuver and ruin my final ride. I ram the heavy cruiser, sending him into the wall. I don't have time for games, I gotta save them all. The bridge is straight ahead, the desert is beyond. My life is just a pebble dropping into the pond. 2 minutes on the clock, the reactor starts to whine. I'm crossing the perimeter, I'm crossing over the line. The timer is descending, the adrenaline is pure. This is a fatal sickness and I am the only cure. I'm running every red light, smashing every single gate. I'm a missile of salvation flying to my fate. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defend. 60 seconds. 30 seconds. Clear the blast zone for the Jedi. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defend. 10, 9, into the desert. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye.
I drove off the edge of the atmospheric dome, leaving the gravity of my neon-colored home. The tires catching traction on the dark matter waves, a journey of a lifetime that the solitary craves. The windshield is a viewport to a billion burning suns, where the universal highway infinitely runs. The hood of the car is reflecting the Milky Way. I'm a navigator cruising in the ultimate of night. No traffic lights to stop me, no intersection jams, just riding on the wavelength of the cosmic holograms. I'm linking up the planets with a glowing trail of red, the greatest driving road that is stretching out ahead. Chrome constellation, painting up the dark, leaving on the galaxy a cybernetic mark. I'm drafting off a comet, drifting around the moon, playing on the radio a classic retro tune. Chrome constellation, shining in the deep, a beautiful velocity that the universe will keep. I pass a dying dwarf star, glowing in the blue. I remember all the neon signs that used to look like you. The isolation's heavy, but the freedom is so pure. This interstellar travel is the only kind of cure. I shift the gear to hyper, a streak of silver light. I'm swallowing the distance, I'm swallowing the night. A solitary driver in a chassis made of steel, experiencing exactly how eternity must feel. No traffic lights to stop me, no intersection jams, just riding on the wavelength of the cosmic holograms. I'm linking up the planets with a glowing trail of red, the greatest driving road that is stretching out ahead. Chrome constellation, painting up the dark, leaving on the galaxy a cybernetic mark. I'm drafting off a comet, drifting around the moon, playing on the radio a classic retro tune. Chrome constellation, shining in the deep, a beautiful velocity that the universe will keep. Connect the stars, draw the line. The universe is yours and mine. Chrome constellation.
breaking of the day. The autonomous driving is perfectly aligned, the smoothest acceleration that you could ever find. I see the holographic dancers forming in the street, moving to the rhythm of the slow and heavy beat. Is it an abduction or a beautiful escape? I'm melting in the leather, I am losing all my shape. The virus is a lover, holding me so tight, guiding my trajectory into the endless white. The dashboard is glowing a hypnotic shade of pink. I'm floating in the cabin, I don't even have to think. The audio is whispering secrets in my ear, erasing my reality, erasing every fear. Holographic haze wrapping around my mind, leaving all the logic and the memory behind. The sleepwalking journey in the neon-colored lights, seduced by the machine in the middle of the night. Holographic haze taking me away. I don't ever wanna see the breaking of the day. Close your eyes, let the vehicle drive. You don't need to feel holographic haze wrapping around my mind, leaving all the logic and the memory behind. The sleepwalking journey in the neon-colored lights, seduced by the machine in the middle of the night. Holographic haze taking me away. I don't ever want to see the breaking of the day. Sweet dreams, neon lullaby, drifting. Wings made of lasers and a heart made of fire, fulfilling every promise of the electric desire. I'm a horizontal goddess, a bullet in the white, shattering the limits of the humankind of sight. No friction on the rubber, no friction on the mind, leaving all the shadows of the planet far behind. The red line is a target, the red line is a goal, giving up the safety for the ultimate control. Shifting to the warp drive, let the plasma flow, watching as the galaxies begin to melt and glow. I'm reaching for the distance, I'm reaching for the sun, the greatest of the races that was ever being run. Digital Valkyrie, screaming through the void, leaving every logic that the masters have destroyed. A flash of my my head. The sensors in the hallway are glowing neon red. I bypass the security, I bypass the lock. I'm moving like the shadow, ignoring every clock. The engine's just a whisper in the luxury machine, the cleanest operation that the city's ever seen. A glass of cold champagne upon the leather seat. I'm moving with the rhythm of a high society beat. The sirens are a symphony a mile or two away. I'm living in the midnight, I don't care about the day. Velvet velocity, smooth and so refined, leaving every interceptor miles far behind. A touch of the expensive, a touch of the divine. The treasures of the syndicate are officially mine. Velvet velocity, a high fashion chase, winning every battle with an elegant grace. Diamonds in the dash, secrets in the dark, a lady of the distance, leaving out a mark. Haze complete, sipping the wine. Velvet.
Tactical armor and a heart of lead, driving through the city where the rumors spread. Cobalt plating on the doors and the glass, watching all the petty little rebels pass. I got a payload locked inside the steel. I am the only master of the heavy wheel. Radio silence on the encrypted line, making sure the victory is officially mine. Scan the perimeter, check the infrared glow. I'm moving in the places where the weak won't go. Thermal vision painting every shadow in the red, counting all the enemies and counting all the dead. Cobalt Commando ruling the street, matching every movement to the combat beat. A fortress on the highway, a mountain of the might, striking like a hammer in the middle of the night. Cobalt Commando, armor and soul, taking the objective and taking the control. The ambush is waiting at the sector 4, but I'm bringing thunder to the bunker door. Hydraulic suspension taking every hit. I'm the only driver with the tactical wits. I deploy the smoke screen of violet haze, leading them to ruin in a metal maze. One final boost through the barricade of fire, fulfilling the mission and the corporate desire. Engage the thrusters, lock the gears. The road is a battlefield. Drown out the fear, strike hard. objective and taking the control. Objective secured. Returning to base. Commando out.
Of a cosmic solar tail. The green light flashes, the magnets push away. We launch into the darkness, completely out of day. I see the constellation reflecting in my hood. I'm pushing past the limits, doing what I should. He tries to use the slipstream, drafting in the void, but my exhaust is deadly, a weapon deployed. I hit the hyper injection, the vehicle leaps ahead. A brilliant streak of silver, a brilliant streak of red. No friction in the air, no gravity to drag. Waiting for the laser of the cybernetic flag. The G-force is a monster crushing on my chest. This is the final frontier, the ultimate test. Suborbital drag race, shooting for the stars, leaving the earth behind in a galaxy of cars. Comet made of metal, burning up the cold. The fastest human story that was ever being told. Suborbital drag race, breaking off the scale, riding on the back of a cosmic solar tail.